What's going on, my Central Unit? It's the Centerman here, so back again with another WCW pay-per-view review, 1998. The good times. Business is boom in the two main wrestling companies, WCW and the WWF. So today I'm reviewing WCW Uncensored 1998. So this show was at the Mobile Civic Center in Mobile, Alabama on the 15th of March 1998. This show took place 2 weeks before WrestleMania 14. The attendance of the show was 7,475. Uncensored 98 received about 415,000 pay-per-view buys, the same buy rate than the previous month's pay-per-view, that's Super Bowl 8, also receiving the same buy rate than this show, 415,000. A massive upgrade than the previous year's uncensored show from 1997. That show received about 325,000 pay-per-view buys. The commentators for this show are Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Mike Tenay. This will revolve around Hogan and Savage. I'll get more in detail when I review the main event later on in this review. So we got 9 matches on the card, 4 championship matches on the show. So the first match to kick off, Uncensored 1998. This is for the WCW World Television Championship. Booker T defending the belt against Eddie Guerrero with Chavo, Eddie's nephew, in the corner of Eddie Guerrero. Chavo was at ringside sitting throughout the whole match. This was the start of the storyline with Eddie and Chavo when Eddie treating like Chavo like crap. They had a match on Thunder that Eddie beat Chavo. So Chavo had to do what Eddie told him to do. And he didn't do it in this match. So this match, I'll give it 3 stars, by the way. This was a fun match to kick off the show. It was good. The fans were booing at Eddie Guerrero, like chanting Eddie sucks. The first moment of the match, Booker was working on Eddie. Then Eddie yelled at Chavo, why can't you just help me? And Chavo says, I do not get involved. Then it's the same spot what he did in Eddie's match against Dean Malenko at Starrcade the previous year. On his knees, trying to shake Booker T's hand. Booker has none of it. And squeeze Eddie Guerrero's hand. By the way, at this moment in time, I think he's in the middle of his second reign as the TV champion. He's still a tag team guy. He's not really a single star yet. He was still wearing Holland Heat's collar. I think Steve Ray's hurt. He came back months later to be part of the NWO, and Holland Heat was broke up for the time being. Yeah, brought back in 99, broke up again in the year 2000. Anyway, so Booker was going to hit a move off the top rope, but Eddie stopped him. I think he kicked him and then followed up with a suplex. Then Booker T got his heat back, did the spinneroonie. He was trying to hit Eddie with the scissor kick, but Eddie counted. He kicked Booker on the leg, working on the leg of Booker T. Then he did like this, yell the fans, can you hear me now? Did the roof gesture. It was kind of funny. In the end, it was good. It was a good match. Eddie Guerrero was a high flyer, and the technical wrestler guy. Booker T is more of the athletic guy. I think they kind of gel well in the ring. In the end, Booker T hit Eddie Guerrero with the missile dropkick for the win. It's a shame he never hit the Holland Hangover. That's just me. He wins this match, retained the television title. Then afterwards, Eddie Guerrero kind of yelled at Chavo, got in his face, like, why did you not help him? Then Chavo pushed him, and then they both walked away. Then Eddie attacked Chavo from behind. This is still building up this rivalry between Eddie and Chavo because of like I said, Eddie treating Chavo like crap. Then as for Booker T, he went up dropping the TV title to Chris Benoit at the end of April. I think it was April the 30th on a house show. Then both the title trade back and forth between Eddie and Benoit. I think they did a 7-match series. I think it might be the United States title or the TV title. It's one or the other. I might be wrong about this. If you know, just write down in the comment section below. So anyway, but besides that, good match, 3 stars. Let's move on to the next match. So the next match we got Juventud Guerrera taking on Conan, represent the NWO. This is Juvi's first match without the mask. He lost a title versus mask match against Chris Jericho at Super Brawl 8 the previous month. Conan was being a dick towards Juvi to Guerrera because he lost the mask, to Chris Jericho. He's making fun of his face because he's nothing without the mask. So the build up to this, the build. I think the build up to this, Conan. Yeah, not Conan. Juvi lost a match to Scott Norton weeks before this match. I think it was a help by Conan. Set up this match on the show, I think. Anyway, so this was a good follow up to the TV title match from the last match. So, and Conan was hitting Juvi with some submission holds. Juvi's a high flyer. Conan is more of a technical style wrestler, like one more of the match. Juvi runs towards still steps and hits Conan with the I think it was a drop kick. I might be wrong about this. Oh yeah, Conan was locking Juvi with these submission holds and this moves you never seen before. Like one more of the match, he locked him with a face lock and wrapping Conan's left or right leg onto Juvi's right or left leg. It's a move you never seen before. It's kind of impressive. Then he kind of hit. It's the same position like you're locking in your opponent with a Boston leg crab. Instead of holding Juvi's legs, he's holding Juvi's arms. He's trying to swing him back and forth like a rocking chair or rocking horse. And then he just hit him like some kind of like spike power driver. That was just like, oh my god. But anyway, and then minutes later, he kind of picked him up, hold his neck while in the position of a fireman's carry. Conan got his hit, like one more of the match. I think he hit, so he kind of like he was going for like a move off the top rope. He managed to, I think he throwed it, trying to do like throw him onto the mat, but instead Juvi managed to get up. And then Conan was in this trio below position, got his heat back. I think like one more of the match, Conan hit Juvi with the cradle DDT, kicked out. In the end, Conan managed to not Conan. Juvi pins Conan with a roll up for the win. Afterwards, Conan got his heat back. Hitting Juvi with the cradle DDT. Then Conan threw Juvi to Guerrero out of the ring, and that was it. So I think they accomplished pretty well in this match. It's Juvi's first match without the mask. That was it. So it didn't mount anything. It's just kind of there. I feel like a match on Nitro, but besides that, 3 stars. Seeing it was technical style. Seeing Conan locking these moves you never seen before. I think they did gel pretty damn well. Let's move on to the next match. So the next match, this is the second of 4 championship matches on the show. This is for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. Chris Jericho defending the belt against Dean Malenko. At this moment in time, Jericho is doing well as a heel. Like, he won the Cruiserweight title against Rey Mysterio Jr. at Sold Out in January. Then in February, he defeats Juvi to Guerrera in the title versus mask match, made Juvi remove his mask. He's holding objects like trophies, like wearing Juvi's mask around his mat. I know Juvi's short for Juvitude, but I don't call him Juvi. Wearing Juvi's mask around his neck. Prince like his Hawaiian skirts, and then he's wearing Disco Inferno's like headband. This is the start of this Jericho Malenko's rivalry because of marking out the 1,000 and hold move. Like yeah, he said he's better than Malenko. He don't want to face Malenko because he's master of the 1,000 of the man with the 1,004 holds. Jericho said it in his book that it's based on, I'm trying to find it. So yeah, he said it. He marks Malenko because he's the master of traditional wrestling. Malenko was known as the man of the 1,000 holds. He declared that Jericho is the man of the 1,004 holds. Jericho said it. Yeah, like I said, Jericho said it in his book that the line originally from IWA's interview he saw as a child with manager Floyd Crashman, I think it's called Crashman, claimed that Leo Burke is the first professional wrestler known to be the man with 1,000 holds. He was known as the man with the 1002 holds with Floyd. Started that he learned two more moves. So anyway, I think it might not be the build up to this. Maybe later on. I think it's later on. Jericho did a segment on Nitro. He's got the list, and with his 1004 holds, that is really good. Like I said, Jericho's starting to make a name for himself, and also, like I said, I forgot to mention this. He put Rey Mysterio on the shelf at Sold Out in January. This match between Jericho and Malenko, like I think it's the second best match of the night. You can tell like it's starting to up the show kind of update a bit, with this match. Jericho won more of the match. He wearing like he had facial hair similar to Triple H's mustache he had in 2005, 2006. Anyway, he kind of like confront a fan. He holding a fan sign with Jericho. He ripped it. It says I'm too good looking to be this guy's role model. Anyway, this match was good. Jericho, he does some high flying moves like the springboard drop kick and the lion moonsault, or what's it called, the lion tamer? Not lion tamer, the lion moonsault. I mean to say the lion moonsault. He hit those moves onto. Actually, he didn't hit the springboard drop kick. One more of the match. He trying to hit Malenko with the springboard drop kick, but Jericho got out of the way, and Malenko got out of Jericho. I'm trying to. God, I'm getting mixed up because both names are similar, Malenko and Jericho. I'm gonna say it again. So, anyway, Jericho trying to hit the springboard dropkick onto Malenko, but Malenko got out of the way in the last minute. Jericho at the floor. He's about to leave the ring, and instead he changes his mind to get back in the ring. Then he hit Malenko with the spine buster. Then he did some kind of dance. It was more like a long-legged dance. I'm trying to describe it. And then he's trying to did his cocky pin, like placing Malenko's. He placed his foot on Malenko's chest. Did the front muscular, but that was a kick out. This was really good. Jericho, Malenko. You could tell there's some good chemistry for both guys. Malenko is more of the technical style guy. Jericho, it's hard to describe it. I call him an athlete. You got the high flyer, the athlete, the brawler, the technical guy, the powerhouse. Anyway, I'm trying to keep it short and simple. Malenko got his heat back, Anyway, I think one more of the match, Malenko tried to hit Jericho with the drop kick, but I think he locked in with the lion tamer. Before that, he was working on Malenko before he got his heat back. He was choking Malenko on the ropes. The referee Charles Robinson did the count, and Jericho yelled at the referee, "Why do you quit counting me out? Just ask him." That was kind of funny. There's a lot to talk about this match. It was really good. In the end, Malenko. My apologies. Malenko was trying to hit Jericho with a flying kick, but Jericho countered it and locked Malenko with the lion tamer. Malenko tapped out. Jericho won this match, retained the cruiserweight title. Go and check it out. It was really good. Back and forth. I think one did a move up the top rope. I think it was Malenko or Jericho. I don't know. It's one or the other. So anyway, after this match, Mean Gene Okerlund coming out. Jericho thought that he's gonna get interviewed by Okerlund, but instead, Okerlund blank Jericho. Instead, interviewed Dean Malenko. He kind of chew up Malenko. I'm trying to describe him in this interview segment. Like he brings up like he's lose 4 straight pay-per-view matches, including losing to Eddie Guerrero for the cruiserweight title at Starrcade the previous year. What Malenko goes from here, and Malenko says, "Home." Malenko go home. This is still the continuation of the Dean Malenko Chris Jericho rivalry, because Malenko came back 2 months later at Slamboree, won a battle royal disguised as a referee, disguised as a wrestler. Jericho go personal, mocking Dean Malenko's dad, Boris Malenko, and then shame they didn't have another match on a pay-per-view. We didn't really it's shame they didn't have another match on pay-per-view. They had probably on Nitro or Thunder, because they originally supposed to have another match at Bash of the Beach that year, but instead they changed plans. Jericho got suspended. that was not Jericho. Malenko got suspended. My apologies, but because like I said, they both names got similar. Jericho, Malenko, but anyway, it was Malenko got suspended. They did Jericho, Mysterio for the cruiserweight title. Like I said, they should have really done a blow off, but unfortunately, for whatever reasons, they didn't. Yeah, they fought in WWF, but I think they did fight in WWF, but unfortunately, the intensity wasn't there. It didn't have the same intensity because Jericho was a babyface when Malenko came to the WWF. Malenko was a heel, part of the Radicals. Let's move on. But besides that, I give it 4 stars. Yeah, it was a really good match. You know, both have good chemistry. Let's move on to the next match. So the next match, this is the shortest match of the show. Lex Luger, the total package, taking on Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. This is Steiner's first pay-per-view match as Big Papa Pump because at the previous month's pay-per-view Super Brawl, I think it was a tag team title match. The Steiners taking on the Outsiders for the belts. Scott turned on his brother Rick, joined the NWO in the process, ditched the dark hair. He dyed his hair bleach blonde, grew a goatee. Anyway, this match sucked. 3 minutes long. Like the whole bulk of the match, you know, Steiner's working on Luger. You know, punch, 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 punch. Did I mention punch, punch, punch? Because there was no chemistry between Luger and Steiner, even though they're both muscly men. Like one more of the match, Steiner locked in the Steiner recliner onto Luger. Unfortunately, his legs are really almost out of the ring. It was past the ropes, you know. Anyway, the referee was Nick Patrick, you know. Anyway, so in the end, you had the interference by Rick Steiner's brother. Not Rick Steiner. Unfortunately, there was the interference by. Yeah, the match was. You had some interference by. You know, you had the appearance of Scott's brother's Rick. Yeah, that's Rick Steiner, by the way. I get mixed up, by the way. So, and also my throat's a bit dry. So yeah, you know, you had Rick interfered. That's Rick Steiner, but he got tapped by Scott Norton. In the end, Luger pinned Steiner for the victory. Then Steiner attacked Luger, attacked the referee Nick Patrick. At this moment in time, he's just a referee. He's not part of the NWO. Anyway, so the babyfaces got the heat back, and that was it. So yeah, Rick pulled kind of like pick up Lex Luger, stand him up, and that was it. So yeah, still the continuation of this rivalry between Rick and Scott Steiner. It's very funny they got reunited years later in 2001 when Rick and Scott reunite in that group called the Magnificent Seven. That was in the dying years of WCW in 2001. So that was all in the year 2000, in the year 1999-2000. They reunited 1 year later when the NWO was officially no more. So yeah, I don't think it was. Yeah, it was just not a good match. You know, it was just 3 minutes long. I wish, you know, Scott Steiner should have got the victory because you're building Scott Steiner up as a potential future star in the company. I wish Steiner got the win over Luger because, like I said, this is his first pay-per-view match as Big Papa Pump with his new character. I think it's just like the wrong person gone over. So moving on to the next match. So the next match is basically match of the night. This is I think it's called the Triple Jeopardy match. This is for the United States Championship. Diamond Dallas Page defending the belt against Raven and Chris Benoit. Benoit and Raven have been feuding since late 1997. I think they had a mini feud in 1998. No, not mini feud. Benoit and DDP had a mini feud. Building up to this, while Benoit's feuding with Raven and the Flock, I'm trying to getting my storyline a bit mixed up. Anyway, so this was, like I said, match of the night. I had fun. They got creative in this match, you know, because the last Raven Benoit match I reviewed was in their match at Starrcade 1997. That match sucked because it revolved around the interference by the Flock. Anyway, there was no Flock members interfered. You know, that's for the change, but it's allowing all three men showcase what they can do in the ring. Fun, creative sparks, you know. One more of the match, you know, you had Benoit and DDP place a trash can over the head of Raven and smacking Raven while he's underneath that trash can. They're hitting Raven with the crotch. both of them trying to pin Raven, but they broke up the pinfall. Benoit hit DDP with the crotch. Then Raven and Benoit throw DDP onto the uncensored electrical sign. Glad it's not he never got electrocuted. He's still alive to this day. Anyway, and then I think DDP of I keep calling DDP. I'm getting mixed up, by the way. I don't have like my notes. I'm trying to do it from the heart, by the way. Anyway, so Benoit kind of throw Raven onto the table. He put Raven through the table mid ramp, and then the whole bulk of the match, until DDP came back to the ring, is Benoit Raven to showcase what they can do. And then they had there's one good spot. Both of them, I think it was Benoit. One of them like lock each other with sleeper holds. I think, and then one of them hit like a jawbreaker. Then they did like the 10 count, and then they did like one of them did like a double suplex. I'm not gonna tell which one did that. Anyway, so so it was really getting good, and then and then Raven and Benoit teamed up, and then Raven grabbed like Lodi's sign. Lodi is part of the flock. Says use my sign. Underneath that sign is a stop sign. He hit DDP with that sign. In the end, one of them throw Benoit out of the ring. DDP hit Raven with the diamond cutter. He diamond cutter Raven off the top rope and trying to pull him through the table. Unfortunately, the table did not break. DDP pins Raven for the win. And then the next month at Spring Stampede, Raven won the United States title from Diamond Dallas Page. And then I think he lost to Goldberg. Then Goldberg forfeit the United States title when he was the world champion later that summer. So I think it was Benoit did it, Booker T. I know they fought for the United States title years later in WWE in the second 7-match series of their rivalry. I think their first 7-match series, it might be for the TV title or maybe the United States title. It's one or the other. So anyway, this is match of the night. Go and check it out. I really enjoy this match. It's fun. It's really good. No interference by the flock, because the rules of a double jeopardy match is no disqualifications, no countouts, everything goes. I think they play for their benefits, even though they got 3 good workers in the ring. You got 3 future world champions. Even though Raven was not a world champion in WCW, he was a world champion in ECW. Benoit and DDP will be future world champions in '99 in the year 2000. So yeah, I suggest watching this match. It was fun. They told a good story in the ring, and I think it's gotta be in the top 5 or top 10. It's very people like it's gotta be in the top 5 best triple threat matches of all time. For me, I'm gonna have to go with Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Benoit, WrestleMania 20 in 2004. That's me. So moving on to this is a stinker. And this is the second shortest match of the night. We got the Giant taking on Kevin Nash, representing the NWO. So this revolves around the first match at Sold Out in January when Kevin Nash injured the neck of the Giants when he hits the botch jackknife powerbomb. Then J.J. Dillon kind of banned the move on Kevin Nash. So Kevin Nash, every time he hits his finisher, he gets not suspended but fined. So on this show, J.J. Dillon, decides to reinstate the jackknife powerbomb. The whole match you had Giant wearing the neck brace. So anyway, this match sucked. No chemistry between the Giant and Kevin Nash. The whole bulk of the match, Nash working on the injured neck of the Giant. Giant got his heat back, and then out comes Bryan Adams. That's formerly known as Crush. This is his first pay-per-view match, in the company because he debuted weeks before this. Anyway, so he was spent most of the years in the WWF as Crush, where he's feuding with Randy Savage, part of the Nation of Domination, forming his own group, the Disciple of Apocalypse. He left the WWF in late 1997 after he got chokeslammed by Kane. Now he's in WCW, part of the NWO. Anyway, he attacked Giant with the bat. Then you got two more members of the NWO, Conan and Vincent. Vincent is the former Virgil in the WWF. Then the Giant is fucking Superman, beating down and lay out three members of the NWO, Conan, Brian Adams, and Vincent. I think like Giant broke a bat, the black bat, and then Nash hit the Giant with another bat. He runs off. He hulks up, and he think he's Hogan. Don't worry, he ended up doing the Hulk Hogan parody when he was in the WWF 1 year later or 2 years later against Kurt Angle, and that was it. So anyway, worst match. It's funny that Giant ended up. I think he ended up turning heel, being part of the NWO or reunite with the NWO minutes. Months later. Then that was his last time. That will be his last. Turning heel will be his last moments in WCW because he ended up losing to DDP. That would be his last pay-per-view match before going to the WWF in the start of 1999. Anyway, let's move on to the next match. The next match, this is Battle of Two Generations Superstars, second generation superstars, I'm trying to say. Bret Hart taking on Kurt Hennig. Kurt Hennig formerly known as Mr. Perfect, with Ravishing Rick Rude in his corner. So, like I said, Bret Hart is the son of Stu Hart. Kurt Hennig is the son of Larry the Hax Hennig. It could be a good match. I think this is their first match together since SummerSlam of 1991 over the Intercontinental Championship. It's funny, in this match you had three former Intercontinental Champions. Bret Hart, Kurt Hennig, and Ravishing Rick Rude. Sorry, I'm stumbling by the way, because Rick Rude won the IC title from the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 5 in 1989. Sorry, I'm speaking too fast. Need a drink. My throat's a bit dry. So this match was. It could be a good match. I think it was slightly a good match, but only just because my nitpick about this was too much interference by Ravishing Rick Rude. He got involved. One more of the match, he kind of hits he kind of worked on the leg of Bret Hart, like Randy's leg, onto the ring post. By the way, Hennig and Rick Rude represent the NWO. Hennig part of the NWO makes no sense. I don't want to get into it. Anyway, so he's working on the leg of Bret, locking in Bret's leg with the figure four leg lock. I understand why Hennig's locking the figure four leg lock, because he was briefly part of the Four Horsemen before he was turning on the Horsemen to join the NWO. Anyway, going back to when when Rick Rude interfered in this match, one more of the match, Bret locking the sharpshooter onto Hennig, but Rude decked Bret, without the referee noticing. Anyway, he interfered a lot in this match, really brought this match down a bit. It's not the same. It's still a good match, but it's just light interference by Rick Rude. I think he interfered a lot. Like one more of the match, he's on the ring apron. Bret rams Hennig onto Rick Rude. Rude knocked off the ring apron. Bret was going for a roll up, but Hennig countered the roll up himself. In the end, Bret locked in the sharpshooter onto Kurt Hennig, made him submit, and then afterwards Rick Rude attacked Bret Hart and hit Bret with the Rude Awakening, and Hennig hit a worse looking chair shot onto Bret, and that was it. And then funny that later on in that spring, Bret turned heel and also joined the NWO. He was basically a satellite member of the group. Makes no sense. I feel like Hennig and Bret, part of the NWO, turning heel makes no sense. It's basically a heel turn for the sake of a heel turn. But besides that, it was a good match. I'll give it 3.5 stars, but it was just too much interference by Ravishing Rick Rude. So moving on to the next match. This is for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Scott Hall managed to get a world title shot when he takes on Sting. Sting entering this match as the world champion. He defeats Hulk Hogan for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship at Super Bowl the previous month. This was after the controversial match at Starrcade in December of the previous year. Originally, it was supposed to be Scott, but here's the backstory to this. So, Scott Hall won the World War III Battle Royal at World War III 1997 the previous year. he was supposed to face the world champion at Super Bowl. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen because they did the Hogan Sting Starrcade 1997 rematch. So, like I said, Sting won the World Heavyweight title again, regained the belt from Hogan. I'll get more of the backstory why, this is revolved around Randy Savage. I'll get to that when I'll talk about the main event. So, anyway, so they decided to have Hall face the world champion at this show Uncensored instead. Anyway, so this what it had, and by the way, you had Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, in the corner of Scott Hall, and Dusty Rhodes also part of the NWO. He turned on Larry Zbyszko in his match against Scott Hall at Sold Out in January. So, this match was okay. I don't think there's any chemistry between Hall and Sting, like similar to the Bret and Hennig match. Interference. Dusty got involved, I think one more of the match, he hit Sting with a diving, not a diving elbow, but just a pattern elbow drop onto his chest. Then he gives Scott Hall, I think it was foreign object or the international object, he decks Sting with, it's brass knuckles, by the way. It's Hall hits Sting with the brass knuckles, near fall, referee bump. I think Sting was going for, I think he hit the I think he hits Hall, but he's trying to hit Hall, but he hit the referee instead. Anyway, so I don't know, man. In the end, he decks Dusty Rhodes, knocked him off ring apron. In the end, Hall hit the He was going for before that. He was acting weird in this match. He looked like he's Russell Trunk because in this certain time period, Scott Hall is dealing with drug and alcohol problems in the past. Don't worry, they end up doing this storyline later on in the year against Kevin Nash. The last call Scott Hall storyline. I don't want to get into it anyway. So he did like the Frankenstein gesture, the giant gesture. Raising his arm in the air. Marking the giant, aka former Big Show, the future Big Show. I'm trying to say. Anyway, so let's talk about the end of this match. So anyway, Hall was going to hit Sting with the with the outsider's edge, but instead Sting countered it, hits Hall with the Scorpion Death Drop to win this match and retain the World Heavyweight title. It's a shame that Hall never won the world title in his career. In WWF or WCW. I think it's his first world title match since 1993 when he fought Bret Hart for the WWF title at the Royal Rumble of 1993 that year when Scott Hall was Razor Ramon. It's a shame. Maybe his drug and alcohol problem play a massive part. If they managed to do that, I don't care how much the reign of Hall will hold as the world champion. At least he'll be world champion. He's been Midgard champion and tag team champion throughout his whole career. Yeah, he was world champion in, I think it was in Juggalo Championship Wrestling or was it Carlos Colon's promotion in Puerto Rico. But on top of he never been world champion in a mainstream wrestling company, whether it's WCW or the WWF. So it's damn shame. It has to do with timing. Anyway, so let's move on to the main event. This match was short, by the way. It was only 8 minutes long. Anyway, so let's move on to the main event. This is a steel cage match. Hollywood Hulk Hogan taking on Macho Man Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth in his corner. At Super Brawl the previous month, Hogan refused to help Savage in his match against Lex Luger. Then Savage cast Hogan in his match against Sting for the world title. Then suddenly, they went personal. They bring up each other's family members. Then Savage, the NWO turning on Savage. You thought Savage is gonna broke away from the NWO. You can tell this is a friction of the NWO, the black and white, the crack in the armor of the group. Savage, got turned on the members of the group. He was hanging around Sting and the Giant. So anyway, this match, I call it Age in the Cage 2.0. The reason why I call it Age of the Cage 2.0 because of Hogan, Piper, Halloween Havoc, 1997. You got the fake Stings. You got a Sting fan, get involved, get attacked by the members of the NWO. Savage did that spot off the cage, did like foot first landed. How the hell did he not blow his knee? You know, and that with the with the fake Sting without the actual real Sting, it's just a live action promotion of that year's Starrcade between Hogan Sting for the WCW World Heavyweight title. Anyway, so this match sucked. You know, it was crap. You know, it's just punch, 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 punch. Did I mention punch, punch, punch? Um, the bright spot of this match is Hogan and Sting busted open, but that's not saying too much. Savage hit Hogan with a double axe handle on off top of the cage. On top of the cage, he climbs on top of the cage. He did the axe handle off the cage, and you know how the fuck he basically really leg first. You know, doing it on a high platform could really blow out a knee. You know, he ended up injured his knee later on in the year. Anyway, so he did the move off the cage. You know, anyway, so he's trying to like hit Hogan with the diving elbow off the cage. You know, that'll be cool. But instead, you got the we got the pay-per-view debut of the Disciple. Actually, it was Ed Leslie's return to the company as the Disciple. You know, this time he's jacked up. You know, he looks like fucking Hulk Hogan's like older or younger brother. I think he's the same age. He looks like he's jacked up. He's got fucking muscles, man. That's got to be the best looking look for Ed Leslie. You know, in his second return to the company, he came out of nowhere, decked the referee, grabbed the key, entered the cage. Before Savage trying to hit the diving elbow off the cage onto Hogan. Then here's the coup de grace, folks. Here's the coup de grace. Sting came down to the rafters to the rescue. I don't know. It's funny that you know Sting on the. I think he after that. I think it's 1999. He stopped doing the spot. You know, he ended up not doing the entering the ring by coming down the rafters. You know, I think he stopped doing that when Owen Hart passed away. You know, that's another story, another time. Look it up. I don't want to talk about it in this video. So Sting came down to the ring, fired the rafter. You fought Sting and Savage teaming against Hogan and the Disciple. You fought, it's neck to neck, but instead swerved. Savage turned on Sting. I think he hit him with the power driver. I forgot to mention this. This is confusing. This match, you know, Hogan and Savage fight outside of the cage. They came out the cage door. If you watch a lot of steel cage matches in professional wrestling, whether it's WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, any wrestling company you think of, if you escape the cage door, the match over, you win. They escaped the cage door. The referee did not call for the bell. Still fighting. So what the F is going on? I'm trying not to swear. This is a fucking mess. So and also let's go back to this. Yeah, Savage turned on Sting, hit the power driver. I think it was the power driver. He spit at Hogan's face. He left the cage. And Hogan shout at Savage that you work for me. You ended up for life. You like it or not. And that was the end of the show. End of the show. And the match ended in a non-contest. Look it on Wikipedia. What the fuck is this? Sting was a joke. He wasn't, he's like, come down the rafters, onto the cage. You thought, oh, this is going to be 2-on-2. Psych, swerve, and that was it. So what's the point? That was just like 2 months down the drain, or weeks down the drain, having Hogan and Sting going at, Hogan and Savage, my apologies. I'm sorry, I'm speaking too fast. My mind's, 100 miles an hour. Like, what's the point of having Hogan and Savage like feuding for months, having their problems? Because it's funny, like going back to when Hogan, that's like the spot when he did at Halloween Havoc '97, when he did that spot off the top of the cage, that blow his knee, yeah, it's just like he did that, but anyway, but because at the time, though, was back then, Hogan and Savage were on good terms. Back and fast forward in 1998, they're not on good terms. They're falling out. What's the point of him slightly turn on the NW? It was he didn't really got officially got kicked out of the NWO. He's just kind of He's just kind of like still part of the NWO, but he's kind of like a turncoat. He's hanging around guys like Sting and Giants, who's not part of the NWO. It's just kind of stupid. It's just like at the time, this is Vince Russo booking all over it, because at the time Russo was part of the WWF. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? Sting was a joke. No one got over in this cage match. It's funny, like 3 cage matches I review in this pay-per-view segment. Reviewing WCW/NWA pay-per-view reviews. Like seeing Hogan, like his match with Piper at Halloween Havoc '97 was shit. Then Hogan and Flair at Uncensored '99, that was also shit. And now this match inside of the cage match was also shit. 3 cage matches with Fudge of Hogan never be good. They end up being shit. It's just like, man, don't put steel cage match with Hulk Hogan. The only cage match Hogan in was against King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 2. That was in 1996. It's fast forward in the 90s, in these cage matches against Piper and Savage and Flair, they end up being bad, with bullshit, Anyway, let's go to the fast forward, the aftermath. So anyway, Savage went on to defeat Sting at Spring Stampede the following month. I reviewed that show on this channel. Go and check it out. Then Hogan won the title back from Savage. I think it was the next night on Nitro. I'm trying to remember this. And then the NWO officially broke up. Not altogether, because some of these wrestlers who's part of the group branch off. Including Hall and Nash. They end up forming the NWO Wolfpack. That is the Red and Black, and the rest is history. Yeah, Sting. It's funny, like Sting never got the main event. He got the second to last match of the show. He appeared in the main event. I wish they turn these matches around. Have Sting and Hall main event the show, and put the Hogan and Seven match in the middle. That's just me. Maybe it has to do with the bigger storyline, because of the friction of the NWO, of the crack in the armor. So it's very funny. Like I said, this show took place 2 weeks before WrestleMania 14. You could tell the pressure and really you could tell the WWF is, you could tell WCW was feeling the pressure of the WWF, because on the WWF side you got the rise of Stone Cold Steve Austin and DX. It's funny, 1998 was really the last good year for the company before the company went downhill the following year in 1999. So I feel like Sting was an idiot. No one got over doing his heel turn, for the sake of a heel turn, no one got over, It's just like, what's the point doing this? I advise to do this storyline, do this execute the finisher, or not the finisher, execute the payoff, or don't do it at all, man. Sorry I'm stumbling, by the way. I'm just my throat's dry. I'm trying to get my points across. So anyway, it's just stupid, this main event. No one got over, and this is the third Hulk Hogan match in this segment with a bad steel cage match. Overall, my final overall rating of WCW Uncensored 1998. I'm gonna give it overall. I give it an 8 out of 10, despite of the bullshit second half of the show. You have some really. Let's get to the bad to kick off my overall thoughts. The bad is the bad. The main event was shit. A swerve of the sake of the swerve, like I said. Giant versus Kevin Nash, shit, because no chemistry. Plus Luger Steiner. That was just why could I have Steiner go over? Beats me, even though it's the shortest match of the night. Not really a good match, even though it was 3 minutes long. But the only thing in the okay for me has to be Hall and Sting for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Even though it was shorter, but it was okay match. But I feel like it belonged on Nitro or Thunder. It didn't feel like a pay-per-view worthy match, But the good is the good, man. The opener for the TV title match. The TV title match in the opening was good. Sorry I'm stumbling, but it's just what it is, man. Booker T, Eddie Guerrero in the opener was good. Juventud Guerrero versus Conan was also a fun match to watch. The Cruiserweight title match, Jericho Malenko, was fun. And the match of the night between DDP versus the triple threat match between DDP, Raven, Benoit was also fun. The Bret Hart Kurt Hennig match, I'll put it in the good only just, but it was knocked down. Has to do a lot of interference by Rick Rude. But yeah, I give it 8 out of 10. Sorry about my stumbling. I'm speaking too fast, by the way. So it's just what it is, man. You know, I'm not really a slow talker. I'm just a fast talker, man. You gotta keep up, man. But anyway, yeah, I think this was not a perfect show, but I think it was a good show. We started, like I said, the first half was good, despite instead of the Luger Scott Steiner match. But after the triple threat match, you can tell the show starting to fall down the cliff a bit. So anyway, hope you enjoy my review of WCW Uncensored 1998. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. What's your thoughts on Uncensored 98? Smash the like button, click the like, click the bell, subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube, be part of the Central Unit for more wrestling videos and more. Next time, after WrestleMania 39, I am taking a break. I'm taking a break of Contact Connect. After WrestleMania 39, I'm taking a break off YouTube for 2 weeks. When I do come back, I'm gonna do this voting poll on my community tab. Your choices, for the next classic WCW or NWA pay-per-view. Your first choice, WCW Spring Stampede 1999. That's known for the last great WCW pay-per-view they ever produced before the product went downhill. Or we can go to the year WCW in the year 2000, one of the most horrifying shows of all time, not just in WCW, but in professional wrestling history. Begins with 3 words: New Blood Rising. Those are the choices. Until then, after my hiatus, this